It's just a yes. A lot.
How are you? Feeling good tonight?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll get this. You don't have to go. Yeah, I guess. But I'm not. Sorry. Yes. Like I was saying, like share. Share kid, I would say. Like share. Oh, no. You know what you want to do?
It's like
It's a neat provision.
Last time I was
You're moving in a song. No.
Pressed by
what?
I guess they do. I don't see
I like these.
Let's go with Thursday for sounds like
All right, please start finding your seats.
Hey, you can't say that.
I like that.
If he tables, well.
He's gonna object. There's
So here's what we'll do. We'll do what you said. He objects. Is and we'll.
I feel.
We can both.
all right, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Oh, you'll see me.
Thank you guys for being here and for being so patient and being here week after week. There's a lot to get through again. So I ask that you guys stay quiet and please be efficient with this. We have a lot to get through before the end of the year, and I don't want to have to call another meeting before we leave. So we're gonna now move into a period of opening roll call led by Pro Tem Tim. Howdy, y'all. When I call your name, please say howdy. President Mallory, VP Mallory, Chief Justice Rayfield, Speaker Sino, howdy. Chairman Tuck, that's me. Chairman Norton,
Howdy.
Chairman Wright, Chairman Kim,
Howdy.
Chairman Williams, Senator Bond, Senator Nyaparia,
Here.
Senator Owens, Senator Allen, howdy. Senator Jackson, howdy. Senator Royal, Senator Attaway, howdy. Senator Dealey, Senator Richards, Senator Schmidt, Senator Williams,
Austin Williams, Senator Yost,
President.
Senator Collins.
Yeah.
Okay, Senator Chesler,
Aye.
Senator Hurt,
Aye.
Senator Vivanco, Senator Landons, Senator Smith, Senator Westlake, Senator Ben Williams, Senator Chu,
Aye.
Senator Wentworth, Senator Long,
Aye.
Senator Alvarez, Senator Burnside, Senator Eddington, Senator Hughes, Senator Hudson, Senator Willis,
Aye.
Senator Ron Wilberfeld,
Aye.
Senator Adamant,
Howdy.
Senator Barber, Senator Becker, Senator Brown,
Aye.
Senator Clark, Senator Fleener, Senator Flores, Senator Garcia, Senator Glazer, Senator Glover, Senator Hall, Senator Hedgehog, Senator Hicks, Senator Honey,
Here.
Senator Kaiser, Senator Monk,
Howdy.
Senator Murray, Senator Sanders,
Howdy.
Senator Hargrove,
Howdy.
Senator Maynard, Senator Roberts, Senator Nathan Williams, Senator Busoni,
Aye.
Senator Bradley,
Howdy.
Senator Cho, Senator Dow, Senator Medvedev,
Howdy.
Senator Shuck,
Howdy.
Senator Wells,
Howdy.
Senator Wu,
Howdy.
Senator Chesnick, Senator Pogue, Senator Patel,
Howdy.
Senator Sanchez, Senator Sloan,
Howdy.
Senator Steele,
Howdy.
Senator Stites, Senator Teets, Senator Vanderhagen, Senator Wilhite, Senator Wilkins.
With that, we will now move into our invocation and pledges of allegiance led by Luke Morrison on behalf of the class of 2025.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please bear with me. Dear God, thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity we have to gather together and glorify you through serving the student body. I pray that we would be motivated by that, and be motivated by our core values, that you would be glorified through the respect we show to others, that you'd be glorified through the excellence with which we work, that you'd be glorified through the leadership that we show, that you would be glorified through the loyalty we show each other and this university, through the integrity that we have in every action, in the way that we selflessly serve. Pray that you're with us, innocent through us, and that that we have a wonderful night. In your name, pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
We thank him for his time. We will now move into our mission statement and Aggie Honor Code led by our longest serving senator, Senator Purtell.
The Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, and will tolerate those who do.
We will now move into a period of open forum. Pro Tem Tucker, do we have anyone for the open forum? Seeing none. We will now move into the approval of the April 23rd minutes. Do I see any objections to the approval of the minutes? I see Senator Hargrove.
Senator Hargrove, Education Caucus, on page 4 of the minutes, under VP Pritz, the confirmation count was 28 to 11, not 23.
Thank you. We're gonna change that right now. Could you repeat those numbers?
28 to 11.
Oh. Okay, do I see a motion to adopt the changes to the minutes? Do I see a second?
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will start with the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will move into the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the motion? Seeing none. We're now going to vote on the approval of the minutes, and we will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the approval of the minutes? Seeing none, these minutes do pass. We will now move into our approval of the consent agenda. Do I see any objections to the approval of the consent agenda? Seeing none, the consent agenda is approved and these pieces do pass. We will now move into the confirmation of our Executive Director of Operations, Pro Tem Tucker. You are now open for a brief period of introduction.
Howdy.
Hi. Hey.
President Tucker, I would just like to introduce to you guys someone who I thought has already worked extremely hard for the Senate. She has put in a lot as a fish aide. She helped to run sweeps with senators, if you guys remember what that was for the 77th session. She has already done so much learning kind of what it looks like to be an EDO and has proven herself very worthy of this position. It's Natalie Schroyer.
With that, the nominee is now open for a 5-minute period of presentation, beginning at Howdy.
Howdy, Senate. So my name is Natalie Schroyer, and as Martha so kindly said, I have served Senate before for this past year, but I would love to just get to tell you all a little bit about myself and what I would like to do as Executive Director of Operations. Okay. So a little bit about me. I am an agricultural economics major with a concentration in policy and economic analysis, and I'm doing a minor through the Bush School, which is American Politics and Policy. I am from Friendswood, Texas, just south of Houston, and then a fun fact about me is my least favorite thing in the entire world is when people ask me for a fun fact about myself. I think they're horrible, I never know what to say. So a boring fact about me is I am a complete fiend for Coke Zero with crushed ice. Ask me about it, best drink I've ever had, I love it. Yeah. So a little bit more about my involvement now that I'm seeing it. It's a little bit hard to read, so I'll try and breeze through it. So I was a fish aide, and I attended bi-weekly meetings that did highlighted core leadership values that we find at Nexus A&M. I just grew a lot of friendships and learned how to be a better friend and a better leader. We did a lot of service projects, including the big event, custodian appreciation, and most recently we had our Essential Aggies banquet, which highlighted over 700 different essential Aggies and food service workers and custodians around campus, and we got to serve them a meal, and it was wonderful. Please ask me about it. It's my favorite thing I've done. And then also I was placed on a committee with an SGA, and I was able to create invaluable connections across SGA and POL. With that being said, that committee that I was a part of was Senate. So as a Senate fish aide, I was given the opportunity to create, develop, and execute the Sweeps of Senators event that we got to host. So through that, I was in charge of planning and executing the event, and then on the day of, I was also tabling at the tables and getting to talk to students. I got some wonderful feedback from them about what they would like to see changed on campus, and that information was recorded and written down by over 100 students, and I would love to see some of the things that they wrote integrated as a policy that y'all are being able to manage. So you might be asking, what is Executive Director of Operations? I'd love to tell you. So some of the main things I would be doing are recording meeting minutes, ensuring that the live is running slides, updating the website and social media, assisting guest speakers in and out of the room, and then really just managing logistics and supporting Martha and everything that she does. And then I'd also be in charge of helping lead the new fish aides that we'll be doing next year. So my plans for the 78th session, I would love to see the website updated. I think it's a little bit hard to read right now and not very user friendly. So I would love to work on that. I've done that in the past in high school. I did that for my drill team. I updated their website. So I would love to be able to do that to the Senate website. And then with operations, I would love to just maintain good relationships with all the senators. I think y'all are all wonderful and doing such great work, and I would love to help y'all with that in any way I can. And then ensuring that all operations are in line with SGA codes and organizing and digitizing the Senate archives. This would be through the website as well. I think it's really important for the student body to have access to what we're doing. And then I have a lot of things with fish aides. I really loved my time as a Senate officiate, but I do think there are some things we could use and implement to make them a little more valuable and just use them wisely. So one thing that I would love to do is have them assist with minutes and planning of speakers and running slides during the meetings, getting them involved right as they get put on our committee. And then I would love to create an external relations committee where the officiates can be doing our tabling events. I would love to see one in the fall and in the spring. I think transparency is the most important part of student government as a whole. And I think the best way to do this is by tabling and getting y'all's faces out there and having students talk to you. I think that's so important. And I would love to see the officiates using that way to help plan those events. And with that, thank you, Senate. And if you have any questions, please go ahead.
With that, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of questions. Do I see any questions for the nominee? Seeing Senator Willis.
Senator Willis, on campus caucus, I'm just curious, if you were to say what the singular biggest issue that the students brought up at Sweeps with Senators, what would you say that was?
For sure, and I've highlighted this already, it's transparency. They were bringing to me these like really intricate problems that they're having with things around campus, transportation, mobility, just accessibility in general. And a lot of these are things that the Senate and student government as a whole is already working on. And I think because of that, it's really important to have them know that these things are already going on and just to feel supported and seen by the senators and the rest of the people in the student.
Do I see any more questions for the nominee? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. And she's going to exit. With that, the floor is now open for debate. We will begin with the first round debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round debate for the candidate. Do I see any debates for the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against the candidate? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting via a standing vote led by Pro Temp Tucker. All those in favor of the nominee, please rise with your. All those opposed? By a vote of 45-0, mileage has been confirmed and accepted.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Natalie Schroyer, do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of State Your Office
the duties of the Office of Executive Director of Operations
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
We will now move into the election of the Legislative Relations Chair. The floor- State your motion.
Senator Cortez, I move to consider the users election for.
Being that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. We will now move into the election of the Student Services Chair. The floor is now open for nominations. Do I see any nominations for Student Services Chair? Yeah.
Under the Chester Bush School of Government, I nominate Sam Shu.
Do you accept this nomination? The floor is still open for nominations. Do I see any nominations? Seeing none, the floor is now closed for nominations. Candidate 1 can come to the floor with your character witness. Yes. Okay, you have 5 minutes total for your presentation and character witness beginning at.
Howdy, Senate.
Hi.
My name is Sam Shu, currently serving in the Port Jazz Caucus, and today I'm running to be the Student Services Chair. Next slide, please. All right, so if you don't, I haven't had the privilege of meeting you yet. My name is Sam Shu, and here's some stuff about me. Like, I'm a faithful follower of Christ. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a friend. I'm a cadet, clearly, a senator, and also a selfless leader, most importantly. So here's some of my relevant experience. Been in the Corps Cadets now for 3 years. I've had the privilege this year to serve as the first wing sergeant major, being in charge of over 800 people, 800 cadets, and overseeing their development and also making sure that they've been doing their job according to the standard of the Corps Cadets. And also now serving as a Cadet Leadership Council commanding officer. I've also been in student government now for my 3rd session. Last session, I got the privilege of serving as Student Services Chair, which is my main reason for running again this session, and some of my other relevant experience as well. Next slide, please. So I'm just gonna get right to it. My mission and vision. So what are the things that I've learned last session that I want to take to this session as a Student Services Chair? Those being utilizing subcommittees to accomplish each task. One of the things that I found the most difficult was having to go and advocate for the very niche things such as disability resources, which is something that I struggle with the most. And not just myself, but also my committee. Being able to make a subcommittee with people that are in Senate and also outside of Senate in order to tackle that niche place, or that niche like branch of resources would be very helpful. Something also, another subcommittee that I'm excited to start if I get elected as Student Services Chair is a period project subcommittee. I got to work with them a lot last session and being able to get more resources to them in order to make more period. So to help the period project, sorry for fumbling on my words. And also that goes into my second point, getting new funding for specific projects such as the period project. One of the main things that they encountered was having a hard time getting funding from places in the university. Maybe, hopefully, what I'm hoping to do is tap into some of the resources that we have for SGA and being able to give that to them so that way they can explore other ways of being able to give those resources out to the whole student body. And also just continuing successful and unfinished projects, such as my projects and my relationship that I've been growing with the University Police Department. One of the biggest things on campus right now is vehicle and pedestrian safety, which is one thing that we've been working on a lot with UPD. And honestly, just growing that relationship first has been the most important thing for me, because we didn't really have a relationship with them at SGA. And now they're more excited. They want to create student panels. They want to get meetings going with student leaders and other chief student leaders outside of the Senate, which is very important. So I hope to continue that as I go forward. Next slide, please. Here's some of my letters of recommendation. People that have seen me grow in this position, seen the leadership that I have, but also Hudson Smith, and also not pictured as Lord. who have been in my committee and were truly boots on the ground for my committee, really helping me get the goals accomplished and getting my job done as well. Next slide, please. And now to introduce my character witness, one of my good buddies from Squadron 5, Josh Zwicker. This year he's had the privilege of serving as the 3rd Group Sergeant Major, so he's been directly under me, being able to see my leadership, but also this upcoming year, he has the privilege of serving as the Carson Mountain Cavalry First Sergeant. So with that.
Minute.
Okay, howdy, Senate.
Hey.
Alright, I'll keep this brief. Mr. Sam, I think his reputation precedes him for most of y'all. But if y'all who haven't gotten to know Sam very well, been through blood, sweat, and tears with my brother over here for the past 3 years. Literally. Past year we worked very closely as sergeant majors. I know that y'all on the court, sergeant majors, like, what is that? Basically, we don't get the recognition for being the commander, but we are behind the scenes making sure that the Corps runs, making sure that things are being followed, people are doing what's supposed to do, make sure that things doesn't fall apart. At the end of the day, this guy will constantly get the job done. You give him a task to do, we'll do it immediately without asking questions. He comes with ideas that are nowhere, like ideas I can't even think of. This guy's come with ideas that the Corps commander, the top dog's like, wow, what a great idea. Things he implemented this year literally changed the future of the Corps. So if you want new ideas, you want innovation, Sam, choose your guy. Thank you.
With that, the camera is now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Steele.
Senator Steele, off-campus caucus. What's your favorite core value and why?
My favorite core value is integrity. I think it's very important to stay true to the things that matter the most, specifically my faith, and also the things that I follow, which is, the core, the life that we live as cadets. So integrity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Adamek.
Senator Adamek, off-campus caucus. What was the period projects thing you were talking about a minute ago?
Absolutely. So Period Project, basically what it is, it's a subcommittee, or it's a committee within the organization BEAT. And basically what they do is that they make period products available to the general body of the student body. And right now they have, I forget what they call them. They have dispensers in Evans and also in the engineering building, Zach, but they're trying to expand to all over campus. And right now they don't have the funds for that, so I'm trying to help them with that.
Senator Maynard.
Senator Maynard, Education Information Office.
Yes.
Okay, great. You seem very interested and passionate about pedestrian safety. I know you were recently on a golf cart throughout campus. Could you just tell us a little bit about what you saw there and the different issues with pedestrian safety?
Yes, ma'am. So honestly, the main thing is that students aren't aware of their surroundings. People are more busy being on their phones or in La La Land, somewhere else, not in the present, where they could literally get ran over and all of a sudden it's the university's fault also, but it really, usually it's the pedestrian's fault. That's one of the main things that I've been talking with UPD is finding a way to educate the student population about safety. And even if that comes as far as getting a pre-registration course saying you have to take this 5-minute video and watch it and talks about how to be aware of your surroundings, not just in the day whenever there's cars, but also at night when you're walking back from Northgate and you're drunk. That's also important. So thank you for the question.
Senator Honey.
Senator Honey, off-campus caucus. Who's your child's favorite parent?
Well, that would be definitely mom. My wife is definitely the favorite, especially at the earlier stages of being a parent, because he just cannot stay away from her arm. But thank you for the question.
Do I see any more questions for the presenters? I see Senator Chesler.
Senator Chesler, Bush School of Government. My question for you, Senator, is your previous experience with student services, what are some of the greatest challenges you discovered? And do you think, how do you plan to address those coming up in this session?
That's a great question. One of the things that I encountered the most troubling within this past year, specifically, was enabling my committee. A lot of the times, a lot of the meetings that I had to attend were just me, or sometimes it would be very specific things that I would have to do. And honestly, just delegating that out, I feel like delegation was the thing that I did very well in the Corps.
and something that I want to bring into student services this year while I'm a committee member, or if I get the privilege to be the chairman, is just giving that those tasks out in order to accomplish much more than just a couple things. Thank you for the question.
Do I see any more questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we thank them for their time. They will now exit the room with their feelings. The floor is now open for debate. We will begin with the first round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate for the candidate. Do I see any debate for the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for the candidate. Do I see any debate for the candidate? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to do this via a standing vote. All those in favor of the candidate, please rise if you are able. All those opposed? By a vote of 45-0, this candidate is elected as the new Student Services Chair. Thank you, student.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Sam Chu, do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of state your office
the duties of the office of Student Services Chairman
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Right.
With that, we'll now move into the election of our Student Services Chair. The floor is now for the Legislative Relations Chair. The floor is now open for nominations. Do I see any nominations for the Legislative Relations Chair?
Speaker.
See Senator Patel.
Senator Patel, off-campus caucus, I nominate Gavin Monk.
Do you accept this nomination?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is still open for nominations. Do I see any nominations?
Madam Speaker.
Clay Williams, College of Ag and Life Sciences. I nominate Brendan Hurd for Legislative Relations Chair.
Do you accept this nomination?
I need to vote.
Okay, with that, we will now move into the election. The floor is still open for nominations. Do I see any nominations? Seeing none, we will now move into the election. Candidate 2, please exit the room with your character witness. With that, our presenter is now open for a 10-minute period of presentation.
Howdy. My name is Gavin Monk. You can go to the next slide. I'll try to be quick. I'm a junior from Dallas, political science major. I'm running for Legislative Relations Chair, which is actually different every other session. So this coming session, we're not going to be going to Austin because the state legislature concludes in the spring. So I'm running for Legislative Relations Chair for an off year, and I'm interested in all kinds of musical instruments. I love playing music. Whenever I can, I try to learn as much stuff as possible. I love running in college football. That was me, Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma Giant Manziel back in the day. My dad was class of '89. You can move. Next slide. I'm a member of Kappa Sigma, which is a fraternity, freshman years in Christ, which is how I know Keith, my freshman year, and Gilbert Leadership Conference. And then I was president of Aggies for Cruz, which was basically just a campaign arm of Ted Cruz's Senate campaign in 2024. I go to the A&M United Methodist Church and I sing in the choir, although not very good, and I play percussion when they have concerts. This is my third session at Senate. I'm one of, I believe, 4 people left, old balls. Off-campus caucus leader last session, this time running for LR chair. And I've always been in Gilbert committee as well. I guess just some work experience. I've worked for Speaker Mike Johnson in Washington, D.C. I did the public policy internship program, so that's how I did that. And for the first half of the summer, I did Office of Government Relations, where I worked for Michael Hardy, who's the Director of Federal Relations. And normally, I want to make a point here is we don't, as legislative relations chairs, usually coordinate much with federal relations, but I have a personal relationship with the director of it. And in this position, I'm going to try to kind of create a precedent of working with the federal relations and getting things moving, especially with the changing federal policy with regards to education lately. I think that we're going to want to have student input into that. And then other stuff, worked in Louisiana, I can't really count, so move on. That's I already kind of explained what the chair does, but it's really up to the discretion of the chair during off years. So it's really just whatever projects you want to kind of set up the next chair with. You can move to the next slide. My goal is, again, communicating with federal relations, and then really the only thing that the LR chair is obligated to do in terms of work is prepare the groundwork for the next legislative session. So working directly with the commissioner, who hasn't been confirmed yet, but getting those issues good. And committee member development, I'm going to want to prepare the members of my committee to be a part of the commission next year. Next slide. And then these are some letters of recommendation. You can go to the next one too. Thank you.
With that, the character witness is now open for a 5-minute period of presentation. Getting out.
Howdy.
Hey.
So my name is Heath Flanagan, as I said before, I know Gavin Monk from our freshman year. We were in Flake, Freshman Leaders in Christ, and in that we're in a sub-award called SNOW, Service and Outreach. So I talked about him specifically, and I won't talk much about myself at all. I want to focus on him. Gavin, immediately, thing I can tell you is true. He will tell you the truth if you want to hear it or not. That's something I learned very quickly with him, and it was incredible to see. Not many people these days hold truth to the extent that we need to. Truth is diluted in a lot of ways, and truth is swayed, and there is no foundation anymore. And Gavin will tell you right now, he has a foundation of truth. Through Christianity is one of his main pillars for sure. He has a moral backing, and that is what I know for a fact he represents. And so, love hearing Gavin, and I love debating with him sometimes on different Christianity things as well. But just a few weeks ago, I also went and sat with him, and he updated me on politics. Hate to say I'm a little ignorant in politics, not like y'all. There's a lot more into it than I am. But Gavin got me caught to speed pretty quickly, and very thankful for him for sure. But not just his character, we'll talk about what he's actually done, what his actions are. Biggest thing is that he's actually gone and been a part of a state representative in a sense. And he has gone and been sent away, Louisiana specifically, he's worked with the governor, and he has actually put action behind his words. And so to see him go out for LR and to see him go and want to build those relationships with actual people in politics, it takes a special person. It takes somebody to know what they're talking about specifically, somebody that has character, and somebody that has a strong backbone. And so I think Gavin does have all 3 of those things. And I'd love to see him get the LR position for sure, not just because my buddy, because I do think he is very well fit for this job. And to be honest, he could be any position in here. I think he'd be very well fit for it. And so that is my friend Gavin Monk first, but then secondly, hopefully the new LR. So thank you.
Thank you. With that, the presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of questions. Do I see any questions? I see Chair Horton.
Chair Horton, rules and regs. Gavin, you have permission to preface.
Granted.
You have such a storied history working on all levels of legislation with legislators. Can you please tell me about some of that time and how you've really thrived and excelled in that?
Yeah, so I started really my summer of 2023, which was after my freshman year. I worked in Louisiana on the governor's campaign because they have off-year elections for 2023. And I also worked directly with the state senator there, and he's kind of been my mentor, working me up to, try to be involved with all this. I think that one of the main things is you have to go in, if everyone knows that politics is kind of like, they're a little bit sus of whether or not people in there are legitimate, working for the beliefs that they have, or if it's for personal gain. And I think that one of the reasons why I've kind of been successful in forging relationships in that scene is because I've like been from the very start. I've had a particular mission, like a particular idea of what I want to contribute, like with my life in general. So I think that that's kind of what's underlying it. It's if I get the favorite core value question, that definitely ties in, because I think that selfless service, like you have to be willing to give your life up for something greater than yourself to the greatest extent possible in your life. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you.
Senator Wells?
Senator Wells, engineering, why did you resign multiple times?
From what? Wait, can he preface or back and forth?
Permission to back and forth?
Granted.
I know in the past, I don't know what exactly was position, but I have been heard from people that I've asked that you have resigned multiple times in the past. Why is that?
That's false, and I don't know what the doctor about.
Okay.
If whoever made that claim or accusation, please ask a question so I can understand what you're talking about.
Senator Glover?
Point of information.
State your point.
Chair Horton, rules and regs. Would lying about this be considered a violation of the Aggie Honor Code?
I feel he's probably mistaken and not lying.
Senator Glover?
I'm Senator Glover. Off campus politics. So I've noticed that you like playing harmonica among other instruments. Do you like Bob Dylan?
Actually, so I've never heard of, or I've heard of Bob Dylan. He's one of my grandparents' favorite artists, but I never really listened to him until that movie came out. And I got a harmonica actually last Christmas and I started learning it. And my dad got me one and we went to see that movie. And I really like a lot of this stuff now, especially like the early album for the electric stuff. But yeah, Bob Dylan was great.
Senator Steele? Senator Wilhite?
Okay, is what projects are you wanting to focus on in the off season?
Right, so first of all, I talked to Corbett Armstrong and Trey Bass today. Corbett actually offered to write me a letter of rec, but I said no, that's seemed pretty busy. And yeah, anyways, he kind of told me that he explained what I already said about the position, how it's kind of like up to you what you want to do, and there's not really a lot of like beyond like the very basic obligations. But Trey Bass told me that one thing you'd like to see done is kind of making it more accessible and like in front of students, like how content it is, how to work, like to basically get like what all the work we do more, flooding the representatives like with the same message, because like these students, they have concerns and everything, but a lot of the times it's like they have to go through as a person like in student government if we are actually going to do anything about it, but we can kind of bring it to them instead of it being the other way around. So that's a big one. And then federal relations. So I know that legislative relations, a lot of the time, like we're passing resolutions that correspond with particular bills in the state legislature. That's not really what we're going to do here. So I'm not sure actually if that works for federal relations, if we wanted to do like maybe, because I know that the A&M system and A&M federal relations like have particular initiatives that they want. Maybe some of those would be bolstered by like if we pass resolutions saying that we as students agree with this and like want this to happen. I'm not sure if that's ever really happened before, but I want to explore that as well.
Senator Chesler?
Hi, Senator Chesler, Bushville Government. As a Bushville senator, one of the things in my goal is permission of friends.
Briefly, yes.
One of the goals I have is to further the efforts of.
Please wrap up in one sentence or less.
Bushville and BC often has interactions with the federal government, and I wanted to ask your ideas to help promote relationships with offices within the city of BC, given your experience working in the city.
Please answer in one sentence or less.
I'd love to see if I can leverage the connection I have with Michael Hardy into the other A&M sources in DC.
With that, the period of question and answer is now closed. Candidate one, please exit the room with the character witness. Right. With that, candidate two is now open for a 10-minute period of presentation beginning at Howdy.
Howdy Senate.
Hi.
So my name is Bernie Kurt and I'm running for Legislative Relations Chair. Move to the next slide, please. Thank you, ma'am. Just to getting you to know a little bit about me, y'all probably see me talk, but you don't necessarily get to know who I am personally. For some that do, first thing is I'm a political science major. Represented the Bush School. Been my second year in Senate, but I've served 3 terms. I've served since my freshman year. I'm going into my junior year now, so I'm a little bit of an old guy when it comes to Senate years. Involvement, I am involved in kids ministry at FBC Bryan. I work with 4th graders. I was a part of the LR mission this past year. I am a Bush ambassador, part of Howdy Crew, which just got a promotion as the tour director for them. I'm starting a flow for the Bush School, which is really cool, called FLAG, Freshman Leaders in Long Government, and the Terry Spots. Some of my values, I put it as FFA for our FFA friends, but faith, family, 94 values. What do I mean by faith? I just made my relationship with Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. That is the foundation of all my values. But with that, I think I was taught that there's quite nicely is the ID4 values of respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and service. My why study political science, why be in Senate. I go to 1 John 4:21, where he says that in this commandment we have from him, whoever loves God must also love his neighbor. So we are called by Christ to love the Lord our heart, our heart, body, mind, spirit, and soul. On top of that, we're supposed to love others. We'll move to my next slide. A little bit about my Ivy story. It's a little bit unconventional. I am a first-generation college student. I did not know that I was going to Texas A&M until I received the Terry Scholarship. I would be living most of my life in Abilene, Texas, probably working as a main stop assistant manager. That was my job in high school. I thought that was going to be what I was going to do until I got into community college. But through the financial ability of the Terry Foundation, I would be able to come to the best university in the world. This is a little bit about my family right there. There's me, my brother Tristan, to my left. He's actually going to be at A&M next year as an IT engineer. So very excited for that. My little brother Grayson, my mom, and then my stepdad that's getting married this past year. You'll move to the next slide. Thank you. So the job description. This is just about LR. It's very long, but I'm also simply just simplify it. My job is to understand what is going on in the state and national government, inform the Senate about it, inform the student body about it, and get student input on this legislation practices. See what is impacting students and where we can actually advocate for them on the state and federal level. And then also work well with the executive branch and working with the Legislative Relations Commission, which is great that I actually had the experience on the executive side and worked really well with Ms. Johnson over there. I'm going to do this to the next slide. Just the big concept of everything that why I'm running as well. Politics matters as policy matters because people matter. We are elected to serve the students. We are elected to serve people. And that is near and dear to my heart. And that is near and dear to everything that I've ever done. And that's why I'll move to my next slide for our policy priorities. I want us to have a people first mindset. I want us to understand that legislation impacts people and that's why it's important. For instance, some of the 2 biggest things that I'm going to be advocating for is 1, affordability. Affordability is the #1 issue facing college students. Under the Legislative Relations Commission, I was able to work with SAPAR and do a first generation survey. We have students who are living in their cars because they cannot afford homes. We have students who are only able to eat on campus because of our maroon dining meal donations. People struggle, and we need to understand that. And this is where public policy comes in to benefit them. And that's one of the big tackles I want to issue. Senate Bill 1567, this is the Senate bill that was sponsored by Senator Bettencourt. He was the one that we did a thank you resolution for. He is the one that we have to thank. He's an Aggie. A lot of great work has been done there. Working with former Chief of Policy Ben Crockett, as well as our current Chief of Policy Ben Fisher, or not Ben Fisher, Bryce Fisher, sorry, has been really great and really beneficial. And then one thing that I had a really cool opportunity to work on House Bill 4303. This is a bill that actually I got to write myself. That actually got picked up by Representative Donna Howard of Boston. I don't like Boston, but she was a fantastic representative, and she picked up my bill that I wrote, and now we're actually able to try and advocate for grant money for first generation college students. Secondly, voter registration. I want us to get involved in civics. I want us to understand citizenship. Aggies make for great citizens because we have the Aggie core values, and I wanted to highlight that. President Welsh says that every day there's 10,000 great things going on. I want to highlight that because we have 10,000, 70,000 great students working to be citizens, and I want to highlight the stories of promoting our community. Which leads us to two other key points of connection. I want to work with the Texas Student Government Coalition. We're trying to reform this on the executive side of the commission, as well as on with work and facilitate on the legislative Senate side, partnering with that school down in Austin. Sadly, because they have greater access to the representatives because they're frankly in that city. But also working with Baylor, Texas State, Texas Tech, other schools, and having policy parties where we can advocate for not just students here at Texas A&M, but for students across the state of Texas. This is a tangible plan. This existed a few years back, but it sadly fell apart. And I'm wanting us to be able to work with Connection, work with congruence to actually try and get that started again. Then also, I want to focus on federal news updates, policies that are impacting students. Regardless of your political standpoint, I think students need to be informed about what is going on. Our international students were supposed to prep for visas. Whether you agree or disagree, I think it's right for students to be informed about this issue. When it comes to cutting of special education, for instance, or our Hispanic Institute, Hispanic Serving Institute, or Asian American Serving Institute programs, we need students to be on understanding these situations and these policies. I think we need a non-biased source, and I think the student government would be a great remedy for that, rather than just having them get news from CNN, Fox, other polarizing figures. I think we should be the chief student news reporters essentially on this area. Lastly, I want to work on citizen workshops. I have a great relationship with the Bush School as a Bush School senator, as well as being a Bush ambassador to work with really great people who serve the country and who have a great perspective on leadership, ethical leadership, as well as just being a good citizen. One of them is Colonel Riley. He is very popular with Sonoma. He's also very popular within the Corps Cadets. Colonel Riley, I think, has been a huge role model and a mentor for my life. I would love for him to give us a little bit of just a workshop on what it means to be an ethical leader and living up to those Aggie core values. I think that's a great opportunity for our students here at Texas A&M Student Senate to get those tangible steps. Because I think we often can lose sight of what is going on in the world or what it means to be a citizen and why we are here, which is to serve students. Secondly, Dr. Rogler, he survived Human Pulse 207. He's a hard professor, but he's also a fantastic leader, and he served his country as well. And I think having these resources of understanding the nature of service, understanding the nature of leadership, what it means to be excellent, really diving deep into our Aggie core values is really important to me. And I think that we should promote it in every aspect of our life. And this is something that LR can partner with, as well as having perhaps Dr. Muir talk about the economics of housing. We had that happen 2 years ago. And it would be a great opportunity for us to get more educated by experts in their field on policy issues that are impacting us, the students. Do you want to move to my next slide? Continuing, here's some of my letters of recommendation. Senator Wilhite, Senator Edgerton, Senator Maynard, who was really awesome. And then lastly, I would like for Senator Williams to be my character witness.
With that, the character witness is now open for a 5-minute creative presentation, beginning at Howdy.
Well, howdy, Senate.
Howdy, buddy.
I'm sorry if I don't look presentable. I just got done with the final battle of the war I was forced to enlist in, also known as OChem 2 Lab. But I'm here to talk a little bit about Senator Hurt. He kind of is the one of the main ones who kind of drug me into student government. When he first met me, he was like, "You're friends with Jade, right?" "Yeah, I know Jade." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're gonna be your little minion, you're gonna be my little minion." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." But here we are. I've now been honored to serve as community relations chair of this committee from this session. And I do want to speak a little bit about Brendan. He is someone that has been there for me since the beginning. Because when you first come into Student Senate, you don't know what's really going on. You can pretend you do. I promise you don't. And he was there for me when if I needed to ask questions, if he could tell that I was lost, he was going to explain it to me. And obviously, we don't see eye to eye on everything, but that's what makes us human. And honestly, that's what keeps us in check and down to earth. And that is one of the most respectable traits I see in Brendan is no matter where you stand, he is going to be your friend and he is going to try to see eye to eye with you no matter what. And I think that is something that is very important for a legislative relations committee. And I'm truly honored to call him a friend and a fellow senator. Thank you.
With that, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Steele.
Senator Steele, off-campus caucus, what's your favorite core value and why?
Oh, I forgot to say that, I knew you were gonna say it. It's changed actually, it used to be self-service, but I think like teaching respect. I think respect has been something that I think is a foundation to a lot of our other core values that we just often give.
Thank you.
Senator Allen? Sorry, Senator Chesler.
Senator Chester, Bush School of Government. How do you plan to actively collaborate with student-led policy organizations such as the Alexander Hamilton Society and Wiley or SCOTA to amplify student voices in legislative advocacy?
So I think that's a great question. I think those areas. I think it's a great policy areas that they have on international politics, things of the sorts. I want to be as transparent as possibly can. That's why I want to give those federal news reports. I think I'm more focused on working with other student government associations because they are the representatives of their schools. They're elected as well. So I think that's going to be a little bit more of my priority. But student input is always welcome. All of our community meetings are open. I wanted to have them more in open public spaces so anyone can join. Here are top topics of the session and be able to chime in. I'm also curious about having those town halls and those workshops as they discussed. Those would be open.
Chair Horton.
Chair Horton, rules and regulations. You mentioned SB 1567.
Yes.
I believe, or Michigan rights.
Granted.
You mentioned the bill. Can you tell me about any impact you had on the legislative process and getting it there and any time you spent in Austin advocating for it?
Yeah, I've had 3 or 4 trips to Austin where we advocated on part of the Legislative Relations Commission, advocating, lobbying with other senators, real senators or non-student senators, I guess, real senators. So the big dogs, the scary people, meetings with Senator Creighton, for instance, and Benton, different senators across the state.
Senator Willis.
Senator Willis, on campus caucus. What of your qualifications do you think best prepares you to chair and run this committee?
Qualifications is an interesting question because I think values is the greatest qualification for me personally. I think that I've had a dedication to service, and I think that's my greatest qualifier. But if we're talking about something tangible, I think my experience on the actual commission itself, I know how it operates. I know how to partner with it. That's the main role, especially this next year, because we're going to be in a talk session here. If you're not familiar, the term odd people make odd decisions in odd years. That's how our state legislature works. We're not every single year, we're every other year. So we'll be approaching an off year. So we're really going to be focusing on rebuilding and preparing for this next legislative cycle. And I think I have that experience with the commission.
Senator Bradley.
Senator Bradley, Cultural Engineering, permission to preface briefly.
Yes.
So due to the recent political changes and the election results and everything, what is your stance on students getting their visas taken away if they're foreign students, figure studying abroad? That's kind of been a big issue that's kind of happening on our campus.
Right. I'm again, as an elected official, I'm not here to deflect that question, but I don't think my opinion matters. I think it's the students being impacted. Their opinions that matter. I think that we want to advocate for all students who are part of our IB family. That's the beautiful thing about Texas A&M. If you're from Azerbaijan or Alabama, you're here. So I think that's the important thing is if you're part of our IB family, we're here for you till the end. We say that we're from howdy to here, and I think that we need to actually be here when it comes to our policy as well.
Okay, permission back and forth.
Granted.
Would you have any
if you were to be elected, would you try and work on this or work with the school about that?
I want to hear input first on the administration. I know that we've informed that there's like 15 to 20 students it's ranged. I know that the visas have now been impacted. A lot of students have regained their visa access, so that situation changes so quickly. I would have to be talking to admin first, see if there's actually any real need for us to actually do anything. That was just one of the greatest examples I feel like students need to be informed on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Senator Burnside?
Senator Burnside on campus, how do your long-term career goals best align with this position?
Long term with career goal, I want to be a legislative director. If you're not familiar with that, that's the behind the scenes person who works on policy. I have a minor in public policy analysis, so I really care about policy. I'm really care about it. I code for it. So yeah.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
State your motion.
Chair Horton, I move to extend the period of debate by 2 minutes. Second. Or question and answer, not debate.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, this is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. All those in favor of extending the period of question and answer by 2 minutes, please rise and say your name. Sorry, I know.
Alright. Alright.
All those opposed? By a vote 45-0, this motion does pass. And debate or question and answer will be extended by 2 minutes. Do I see any questions for the presenter? I see Senator Sloan.
Senator Sloan, on campus caucus, I'm actually curious, like personally, do you know what the university is gonna do about the Hispanic serving institution stuff, like us not receiving funding for that department that kind of education goes away?
As far as I personally know, we don't know what the administration is going to do. So we're waiting on the administration to move funding, if they're going to move it to, I think, small business administration is probably most likely going to get it if they continue it. So that's where they move FAFSA, so all the student loans and things like that just through them. So it might sense maybe the grant fund goes there, but we're waiting. That's all I've been told from admin.
Thank you.
Senator Maynard.
Senator Maynard education, you mentioned like federal policy updates. I'm wondering like how is that gonna work? Are we gonna partner with like a news outlet like the battalion, or is it gonna just be our normal email?
Oh, I was thinking just what's with Instagram. There's something that other schools in Texas that their programs and LR teams post that on the applicable updates. So if you were familiar with our concept and that's the people there, so it's kind of cool if they do.
Senator Wilhite.
Senator Wilhite, permission of practice.
Granted.
You talked about like this is an off year, so I just wanted to know like what are your plans to like prepare like the next LR year, so it's
Yes, so the biggest thing is making sure that the groundwork that the commission has laid out continues. I think we have a continuancy problem where someone gets elected, then they don't know what goes on because it's an off year. They don't really work because it's an off year. I really want to see that ball rolling, making sure that if our Senate bill does not pass the House, led by Representative Basut, that we make sure that is our priority this next year. First gen, I love that it got authored. It probably will not pass the Senate yet. We didn't have enough support here, I don't think. So seeing if we could possibly be able to make inroads there or explore other alternatives. One of the big things that we're also going to be pushing is students being protected classes. We have that written out, but we did not have a representative author.
Please wrap up in 1 minute or less.
Continuancy is the biggest thing that I would support.
With that, the period of question and answer is now closed and the candidate will leave with their characteristics.
Thank you.
With that, the floor is now open for a period of debate. We will begin with the first round of debate for candidate one. Do I see any debate for candidate one? I see Chair Horton. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Chair Horton, R&R. So among every single senator in the Senate, candidate one has worked arguably for the highest legislator in the land. Candidate one has worked for Speaker Mike Johnson. And candidate one, from what I know, has done that very well. Candidate one has firsthand experience with the actual legislative process, and he has the knowledge and the connections of which to do it. I fully believe that candidate one is the most experienced. Only look at his resume. It is stacked with legislative experience all the way from the campaigning level with Senator Cruz and Governor Landry of Louisiana, up to the policy level with his time in the Economics and Statecraft program at the Bush School and the PPIP program. As well, candidate one has worked with the A&M system to work on federal relations and lobbying. And as I previously stated, candidate one has worked for Speaker Johnson. I fully believe that there is no senator more qualified than him to be the next LR chair. I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the first round of debate for candidate two. Do I see any debate for candidate two? I see Senator Chesler. We'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Howdy.
Hey.
To be frank, I think both candidate one and candidate two are excellently qualified in their fields. And to me, the question of this position is in relation to the student senate itself. We, although involved with the federal government, are not primarily associated with them. And our involvement and the benefit alluded to from legislation primarily lies in state legislation. Candidate two mentioned the Senate Bill 1567, if that's correct, passed by Senator Betancourt, and I recently spoke with the Chief of Staff of the City of College Station. And in my mind, I can see the tangible benefits of a positive relationship with the state legislator, and I respect his ability to interact with these forms of government as beneficial to the university. I'm thinking solely in the future benefit for our students, for my students in the Bush School, and to me, that points itself and leads itself to a stronger relationship with local and state governments. So although I do think both candidates provide excellent certifications to this office, I do lean to candidate two as the right choice for this year and the right time in this student senate. Thank you, and I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate for candidate one. Do I see any debate for candidate one? I see Senator Steele.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
State your motion.
Senator Steele, off-campus caucus, I motion for a secret ballot vote.
Second.
Yeah.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is undebatable and unamendable and will require a 2/3 majority vote. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to motion for secret ballot?
I object.
I object.
Okay, we will now move into a period of voting via standing vote led by Pro Tem Tucker. All those in favor of the motion, please rise as you are. All those opposed? By a vote of 22-20, this motion does fail. We are still in the second round of debate for candidate one. Do I see?
Point of information,
State your point.
Senator Steele off campus caucus, don't the candidates outside who are senators also have to vote?
Yes.
That's fine.
But yeah.
By a vote of 25-20, this motion does fail. We are now in the second round of debate for candidate one. Do I see any debate for candidate one? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for candidate two. Do I see any debate for candidate two? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to do this via a standing vote. All those in favor of candidate one, please rise as you are able. All those in favor of candidate two?
And the nomination. I don't know if that's something else.
Thank you. By a vote of 25-20, Senator Hurt is elected our president. He will now be sworn in by our Associate Justice.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear.
I, Brendan Hurt, do solemnly swear.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
The duties of the office of state your office.
The duties of LR Chairman.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
To uphold the honor of the same.
To uphold the honor of the same.
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
And to promote good relations between the students and those concerned with the university. And to promote good relations between the students and those concerned with the university.
And to promote good relations between the students and those concerned with the body.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
For the relations chair, we will now move into the election of the constituency affairs chair. The floor is now open for nominations. Do I see any nominations? I see Senator Honey.
I nominate Eli Purcell.
Do you accept this nomination?
I accept.
The floor is still open for nominations. Do I see any nominations? I see Senator Hargrove.
Senator Hargrove Education Caucus, I nominate Jackson Steele.
Do you accept this nomination? Do you accept this nomination?
I accept.
The floor is still open for nominations. Do I see any more nominations? Seeing none, candidate 2, will you please exit the room with your character witness? Candidate 1, will you please come to the floor with your character witness? Did you load your presentation into the drive?
Yes, I think it's.
It's like.
Coming off then. Am I good to go?
Good to go. 10 minutes beginning at house.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Senator Patel, off campus caucus. Well, it's good to see y'all. And I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna try and keep it brief. I know these things are long and sort of exhausting. But here's what I think for me to be the Constituency Affairs Committee Chairman. Next slide, please. First of all, here's a little bit about me. I know some of y'all know them as well. I'm a communication major with English minor there. From I say Fort Worth, Texas. I'm really from Haslett, Texas. Anybody know where Haslett is in this room? Boom. Okay, one person. That's usually the ratio of people who know where Haslett is here. So I usually say Fort Worth, very small part of Fort Worth. A little bit more about me. I love music and movies. If you know me, you probably know this, and I probably yapped about some movie or rather y'all for pretty ridiculous amount of time. My favorite Aggie core value is respect. I think the core value of respect is integral to the mission of this body. Because disagreement is productive, I think, in a body like this, and disagreement helps resolutions, help make sure people are represented well, but that only works if people have respect for one another and can disagree respectfully in conversations. And if you attack people and not ideas, then how far have we lost the idea of what they were just supposed to do? A guiding verse for me personally, as well as I think this entire Student Government Association, is Matthew 20:26-27, and it says, this is Jesus talking. It shall not be so among you, but whoever would be great among you must be your servant, and whoever would be your first among you must be your slave. I think people talk a lot about leadership here, and I think really the whole mission of what we do in SGA is to be a servant. Next slide. Here's some of the things that I've been involved with in my time. I've been here in Senate way too long. I was here as Senate officiate in 75th session, freshman year. Spent kind of behind that pillar working on stuff, or up there running slides. We love our Senate officiates. I was off-campus caucus senator in the 76th session, my sophomore year. And last year, I was the speaker pro tempore. So I've been here for a minute. I know a lot of the procedures that we do. Outside of Senate, biggest thing is Impact Retreat. One of the biggest blessings in my culture, being a part of Impact as a counselor, co-chair, and now a video head. And you'll see, I have a lot of love for video, a lot of love for content creation, things like that. So I've been doing media for Impact, media for Breakaway, but I'm also a part of Fish Aids for most parts of his freshman year. I go to Grace Bible Church, Anderson campus, where my grand people at. And then recently, I've joined the 1879 Ambassadors. So that's a little bit about me. Next slide. Let's hear a little bit about the duties of the Office of Constituency Affairs Chair. So next slide. Here's a bit of the basics. Obviously, chair of the Constituency Affairs Committee. What does Constituency Affairs do? Some big words. It's work on projects related to student engagement, making sure that all students are represented well here in Senate. And also just to develop committee members, make sure everybody in the committee is doing some good work and being productive. And then the chair is responsible for evaluating student opinion. There's a very large paragraph here talking about, I'm supposed to do this, via surveys and that nature, and also being able to increase engagement, working on projects like social media, on-campus outreach to make sure students are reached and their needs are heard, as well as being part of the caucus leaders. So every single caucus, all elected leaders is going to happen in a few more meetings to be kind of like official as the caucus and constituency affairs chair, make sure that everybody's doing their job and considering that all the caucus. Next slide, please. Here's a little bit about my vision for the role. Next slide. So increased student engagement. It's a vision. It's also just part of the job description. That's very some ideas for how that's done. Support and collaboration. So supporting the pro-temp and the EDO. Lending some of my talents with video and content creation. As it comes to social media. Probably the easiest way to reach a lot of students is by having good content on social media pages that reaches people. I've talked to them a little bit about how that collaboration might work. Interbranch cohesion, talking between the executive branch as well as legislative and making sure everybody's on the same page, working for the same things, and just in every possible way be a united front. So that way we have a good interface to the students and that it's easy to interact with us in that way. We'll talk a little bit about video content. Reels boost engagement. Pretty much when anybody hops on any social media platform, 90% of the time it's scrolling reels. Talk to a lot of people, that's just the way it is. It's a personal strong suit of mine, something that I've done a lot just personally because I love it. I've worked in SJ with that for an end of the year video for last year's banquet and a couple of videos reviewing some members of SJ, as well as with Mental Health Week last year. I had the pleasure of working with then SVP Andrew Applewhite to make a video interviewing different student leaders talking about mental health and why it's important. And I got posted on the official A&M Instagram. And I'll tell more about mental health week here in a second. Next slide. Productivity. So a lot of my ideas are just engaging members of my committee. I know being in a committee for many years, sometimes senators go in there and they hear a bunch of words they don't understand, and sometimes that can be confusing and make people sort of like taking a step back because Harley was weird, a lot of these things are weird. So I want to be able to have one-on-ones to make sure everybody knows what it is we do and what all they can do and help them set goals for what they want to do, and ultimately have a lot of legislation. I think it would be great if every single member of the CA committee helped author multiple pieces this year. I would love that so much. I would take great pride in CA as a very legislative committee, as well as collaboration. The thing I was talking about earlier, respect is the first core value of RELIS, and I hope that would be embodied in my committee, that people can share ideas without fear of judgment and can disagree without fear of judgment too. Next slide. Let's continue projects. There are a lot of projects from previous sessions that I would love to continue and develop further. One of those, our previous CA chair, is helping send senators out to go present to different student organizations, basically like having a slide deck with like different questions and QR codes that can lead to information. And we've been doing that as an absence group. I'd love to see that codified because if it's in the code, then it's a thing that can be so. And when speaking to the student organization with these slides. Next, Dev Day videos. This is a project we started last year, but couldn't fully do in full complete to the extent we wanted to because things get busy. And I love video and helps develop senators and senator developed and get past the scary part of the pro thing. Then we can get to actual real work. And then continuing on-campus outreach and surveys program. We talked a lot about our future senators. I got to work with our new EDO, Natalie Troyer, in running that event. And that was so awesome. Got a lot of great feedback on campus. And then SAPAR, that was a point of conversation last year with the CIA election. And now Chairman Herc talked a little bit about that too, as a resource of being able to collect information, surveys, information. So, here's some letters recommendation. Maddie Taylor, Chief Student Engagement, kind of an executive counterpart. Sam Chu, Student Services Chair. Cole Sloan. Robert Armstrong, he's Applewhite, also previous CA chair. Next slide. Gavin Monk, Martha Tucker, Josh Sanders. Next slide. And here's my character witness. This has got a very extensive resume here, and is also just a good friend of mine. I'm going to read out some of what he's done because he's done a lot of really cool things. He was the VP of Student Wellbeing for Executive Cabinet a year or two ago. He was the Fish Aids co-chair, joint recipient of 2023 SEC Initiative of the Year. Was that mental health week? Mental health week. And was a committee member on the Student Health Committee, Mental Health Steering Committee, and the Student Rules and Regulations Committee. He's 1879 ambassador, and he is also in Bucks too. Here's then.
With that, the character witness is now open for a 5-minute period of presentation.
Howdy.
All I ask of you guys in this 5 minutes is that if you know who you're voting for, would you please hear what I have to say about Eli's character? Whether or not he is your chairman, he is a senator, and he is one of the most remarkable individuals I've met in my time at Texas A&M, really all my time on Earth. I heard Eli talk a lot tonight, which is shocking because the only thing that Eli does more than listen is work hard. He is unbelievably burdened for the people of Texas A&M in a way that selfless service speaks to, but can't quite capture. It is his whole orientation of who he is. It involves respect for other people, for understanding every single person has dignity. It is excellence in the ways that he acts. It is the reason why he took on pro tempore, the most difficult job, the most laborious job in the student senate. He is a leader. He is loyal. He has integrity right to his better. He is selfless service. He is selfless service embodied. As far as constituency affairs, who he is as a person who can engage. When I was running Mental Health Week, when I created it as a freshman, and now I was sitting sophomore year, burned out, involved in too many things, and realizing it was just too soon to find a videographer. Eli had already been on it. He was unbelievable in his production quality. He was unbelievable in getting it to reel. He was so good that Texas A&M's official account chose to adopt it and incorporate it into one of the few joint posts Texas A&M has ever done with the student organization. And it got 200,000 views, tens of thousands of likes. Had student leaders across campus in it. Eli Bertel knows what it looks like to engage with the student body, not just in one Instagram reel, though he is deeply creative. I get to see some of his works when we're at the house together. No, Eli Bertel speaks to people, to projects, to different organizations on a consistent basis. He's a remarkable individual, and not only that, he is perfectly fit for, let's be honest, any position in the student senate, let alone constituency affairs, one that speaks and engages with the student body, that he is so deliberately, diligently, and with dedication served in all of his time at Texas A&M. That's all I have.
Thank you. With that, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for our presenter? I see Senator Willis.
Senator Willis, on campus caucus. What video editing software do you use and why?
So I use DaVinci Resolve. I have a Blackmagic camera, so Resolve sort of came through with that. And free alternative is always good. So and I've also learned to love the color software. That took me a long time to get right, just color grading. But I've learned a lot. Big DaVinci.
Chair Hurt.
My question is, how are you planning on reaching out to the surveys to students who typically aren't those well responding to?
How do I get people in electric service to take surveys? I think a lot of it would be personal interactions. I think if people in this room have a wide network, people in here receive thousands of votes. I think if somebody's friend asked them to do it, that would make them more inclined to do it than say scrolling past an Instagram post or someone with a table or a banner on campus. I think if everybody in this room reposted and said, "Hey, friends, please take this," I think that would not.
Do I see any more? Yes, correct.
Second question was is how do you reach out to those like international students, Christian students, minority students who typically aren't well represented in their student body? How do you get into sort of level?
Yes, well, now Aggie Nations is part of SGA. I think we could use a lot of resources with that and relationships within SGA to be able to explain to that. Just makes it fun. United SGA being able to use Aggie Nations.
Do I see any more questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we thank them for their time.
There you go.
Candidate 2 is now open for a period of presentations. You have 10 minutes beginning at now.
Howdy.
Howdy.
It's great to be presenting to y'all today. My name is Jackson Steele, and I'm honored to be running for Constituency Affairs Chair for this session. A little bit about me. I am an agricultural economics major, and also the loudest and the proudest member of the class of 2027. A little bit more about me. I'm from Hillsborough, Texas. It's a really small town in between Waco and Dallas on the interstate. Usually I say you pass by, but you don't stop. That saying kind of gone out of fashion because we did recently get a Buc-ee's. My faith, I'm Christian and specifically Presbyterian, have been since I was very young, and I believe that's a very important part about me. And a little fun fact about me is that I really like old country songs. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this guy listens to George Strait. No. I don't listen to a single person who's still alive. Shout out to Blue Moon of Kentucky. Song so good I was listening to it while I took these screenshots. A little bit about my Senate experience. I first got elected in the 76th session as a freshman senator in the fall. I spoke, sponsored, and tabled on several different occasions. I also authored a bill designed to tackle the issue of low voter turnout. And I was a member of the Community Relations Committee under Chair Morrison. And I would like to say I was pretty passionate in that role. I did publish an op-ed on No More Than 4. And then during the 77th session, I regularly spoke and sponsored as much as I can. I authored multiple pieces of legislation, including the Norman Borlaug and Hurricane Harry's resolution and the Outreach Exploration Bill. And I was also a member of the Constituency Affairs Committee during that time. Next slide. Now, these are my season stats. I'm kind of an analytical guy, so I actually went back and saw how many times I spoke. I've asked 77 questions. So call me Curious George, because I'm a ponderous fellow, I suppose. I've also written 5 pieces of legislation and spoken 19 times. 20 today. My other awards that I'm a part of, my non-Senate experience, Pro-Life Aggies and Aggie Eco-Rec are my 2 kind of social awards. Meet a lot of great people in those organizations. On the executive side, I was a member of the Academic Affairs Committee this last year, conducted and engaged in several projects that I'm very proud of, like OER awards. On the work side, I kind of have 2 more freelance jobs. The first one is Brian Broadcasting. The second one is WisePrep, which is an online tutoring service. Basically, I do outreach for both of those roles. Flyering, tabling, sending out emails. Basically, I describe those both as outreach. And speaking of outreach, you're fine. What is this job? It's basically outreach. The way I define it is making ourselves known to the student body in order to both understand their grievances and to cultivate an interest in student government. How do we do that? Surveys, traditional outreach, like tabling, and organizing caucus leader meetings and being the advisor to the caucus leaders, all of which I'll talk about a little later. So what are my goals? Well, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing to remember the goals, so I just want y'all to remember this quick acronym. Mystico! Apparently this is the name of a luchador fighter. I don't know, I just plugged this into a word generator. Next slide. So my first 4 letters to Mystico. First of all, meetings with the executive branch. I want to keep a consistent line of communication with the executive branch, kind of a quid pro quo sort of deal. Whenever they need help, helping them out. Whenever we need help, asking them for help whenever it's required. Information stands has been something I'm pretty passionate about. Basically, these would be little tables that you put different parts of A&N, and they would have flyers, business cards perhaps, and just SGA information in general. Be a great low maintenance means to get students in contact with us and get them to know a little bit more about student government. Surveys and grievance forms is kind of on that same note. Surveys would be done by SAPAR. They'd be sent out about once a semester maybe, issue specific. So whenever we're worried about dining or whenever we're worried about housing, we can send out surveys about those issues. Grievance forms, I foresee it as something that kind of on the website consistently just gives students more opportunities to voice their issues and concerns. Tabling. I want to table every month. There's been a little bit of an issue in student government, and it's basically that we kind of put ourselves in a position where we think we're better than other orgs when it comes to outreach. And what I mean by that is that You never see a student government yard sign. You never see a student government flyer asking you to join that organization. But you do with other ones, and that's kind of an issue. And you also have that with tabling. We don't really put a lot of emphasis on tabling. And I want that to change. I want to table every single month. That is my number one priority. And my last 3 points. First of all, incentives for volunteering. One of the issues why we don't table a lot is because people don't really want to. That's fair. The economist mind in me is asking, okay, let's provide more incentives. So that would be exercising, looking at options, different options for volunteering, incentives for doing so. Also caucus leaders. I kind of just have on here that the culture around caucus leaders suck. And what I mean by that is I've talked to many different caucus leaders, and the issue seems to be that they get elected to this position, nobody really tells them what the position is about, doesn't really do a good job at it, and then they don't do anything because they don't know what to do with it. That's kind of a big issue. Caucus leaders is an outreach position. So as CA chair, I want that to change. This needs to be something that's outreach focused. And changing that would be a pretty big issue I want to tackle during the semester, or during the session. Finally, org relationships, pretty simple. Create a subcommittee for outreach, 2 different organizations. So again, that kind of goes back to we think we're above different forms of outreach. Orgs go speak to other orgs all the time. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to as well. Even if it's just informing people what student government is about, saying, hey, we are an advocate for you. If you have any questions, you can come to us. That sort of deal. Most of you probably don't really care about what I said. Because maybe you had an idea of who you were going to vote for before you even walked into the room. For some of you. It didn't used to be that way. Used to, you could walk into the student senate, hear presentations, and just vote how you want. Passion and experience were the most important things. If you didn't have a candidate with a lot of experience, then things would just not work. If you had a candidate with not enough passion, things wouldn't get done. Now, I'm standing here, and I'm sure to most of y'all, maybe you don't really care about my experience, and maybe you don't even really care about my character. But I want to convince you of this, and this is something I want y'all to believe. I am extremely passionate about this position. I know that most of y'all, you probably don't care about this, but it means a lot to me, as cheesy as that might be. And if you are to support me, I promise I will be in debt to you, and I will pay back that debt every single day I am in the position. With that out of the way, here are my letters of recommendation. These are several people who are familiar with the role, including a previous CA chair, several members of the CA committee, several caucus leaders as well, and some people who personally know about my character. Next slide. Some people who know about my character. And with that out of the way, I would like to introduce my character witness, Miss Senator Flores.
With that, the character witness is now open for a 5-minute period of questions, beginning at Howdy.
Howdy, Senate. Vanessa Flores, off-campus caucus. Sorry about my voice. Today I have the pleasure of speaking on behalf of candidate 2. So let's start from the beginning. My experience with candidate 2. So I filled a vacancy in the 76th session, and it was just totally something new for me. And one of the biggest roles we have as senators is, our relationship with our constituents. And so one of the first most welcoming people in here for me was candidate 2. And so I went up to candidate 2 and I was like, how do I go about this? What is the best way to reach the students? And candidate 2 was really able to help, provide their past experiences with it and just really push me to find a way on my own how to reach out to students. Alongside that, I have served on the Contingency Affairs Committee for the past 2 sessions. And that has been incredible to work alongside candidate 2. I truly have been able to witness their passion for the students. They were always providing incredible ideas to both Chairwoman at the time, Applewhite, and Chairwoman Casino at the time. And they were always ready to help and just really create that relationship and bring more awareness about Senate and what Senate does. And then alongside that, with our Sweets with Senators tabling event, I was able to be with candidate 2 and at the time Speaker Blackbird. And candidate 2 really just took it away. They knew so much about what we do. They knew past things. They knew exactly what to say to draw the attention of the students and to truly let them know and let them in to what student government is as a whole and student senate. And even right out there 5 minutes ago, candidate 2 was engaging with 2 students there who are just studying for finals. And, telling them what we do in here because they have no idea. Telling them what student government is. Telling them to get involved. And that is the most important part, is that it's not just us in here in our own secret room, but it's more important what we do out there. And I truly believe from my time knowing candidate 2 that they are a great choice for this position. And I highly encourage you to remember not only what I said, but the amazing things and comedic relief that candidate 2 said when you decide to vote. So
Thank you. With that, the presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for the presenter? I see Senator Hughes.
Hughes on campus. I don't believe you mentioned this, but what is your favorite core value and why?
How do I choose? Definitely, thank you for your question. Definitely selfless service. I have very little qualms in choosing that as my favorite core value. I believe we're all here to serve the student body. And that's kind of why this position is so important. It's creating that relationship between the students and between us. And that is basically the foundation of selfless service and serving the students and serving our community.
I have Senator Willis.
Senator Willis, on campus caucus. Out of curiosity, where do you go through in college with Brian?
So I might lose votes for this, but I am a little bit of a church hopper. And I'm sorry, the Presbyterian churches here are kind of not my thing. The Presbyterian church I went to in my hometown of Hillsborough was very kind of traditional, like organ was the only instrument. So I kind of had difficulty finding that same vibe here. I have gone to the Baptist Church in Bryan, the Episcopalian Church in Bryan as well, and the Presbyterian churches. I'm still kind of looking for him.
Senator Hargrove.
Hi, Senator Hargrove, Education Caucus. I want to know, what is your favorite initiative that you would like to do at CHO this next year?
Oh, that's really difficult, actually. Information stands, honestly, I really like because I find it to be really simple to implement. It is literally just a small table with flyers and maybe business cards on it. And that's something I've been thinking of since the 76 session. But also caucus leaders is something that really needs to be worked on. I don't think I emphasize that enough. Caucus leaders not really knowing what to do, and obviously that's not their fault. That's a massive issue that needs to be tackled, and I find it to be a very imminent issue as well.
Chair Warren.
Chair Horton, rules and regs. Senator Still, can you tell me a little bit more about what you like to do with caucus leaders and any specific plans?
Yeah, so I have a couple of plans with caucus leaders. First of all, I would like to say I'm more of a democratically focused leader, so I would like the input of my committee before I make a strong decision. But some of the ideas I have for caucus leaders, first of all, having very clear meetings, saying what to do, maybe giving them a timeline of when to do it by in terms of caucus leaders. So that would be step one. Step two, I also see them doing more forms of outreach. So I kind of have an idea of allowing them to do tabling events for their own specific caucus. So maybe the Coles caucus leader could do tabling at the AGLS building, or perhaps maybe just West Campus in general. Engineering caucus leader for Zachary, that sort of deal. And then exploring options from there as well. But I think getting that job to be very clearly defined and having that job executed well would be priority number one.
Awesome, thank you.
Senator Murray.
Senator Murray, off campus caucus. Through tabling, how would you like to see students who aren't part of SGA get involved in this?
So that would start out, first of all, tabling has two purposes. The first one would be voicing grievances. So that's really probably the majority focus of tabling, making sure that students are well heard. That's also kind of the majority focus of CA as well. In terms of getting interested in tabling, that could be, kind of informal, something like, you get in contact with a senator, Or it could be something more formal, such as, having an interest form with a QR code, on the table you can scan and figure out what you want to do from there. Or again, having those flyers like at the information tables that give SGA information and maybe election information as well.
Chair Hurt.
Chair, legislative relations, my question is going into, how do we reach out to the hard to reach groups, the international students, Hispanic students, Asian American students, who typically aren't well represented?
That is actually where the organization subcommittee would come in. There's a lot of organizations that are just composed of groups that have absolutely no idea about student government. The best example I can think of off the top of my head is ISA, the International Students Association. I've talked to the people in there, they have no clue about student government. And whenever I say that about students, it's not the fault of the students. I kind of put the blame on us as weird as that may sound. But I think reaching out to those boards that compose
You wrap
those
up in 1
students
minute or less.
is key.
With that, the period of question and answer is now closed. And to exit the room with your character witness. We will now move into a period of debate. I see Senator Sloan. Oh, sorry. We'll now move into a period of debate for candidate 1. Do I see any debate for candidate 1? I see Senator Sloan. We'll have 2.5 minutes beginning now.
Howdy, Senate. Howdy. It's a wonderful Tuesday night, right? Different than usual. I would love to debate for one of my really close friends, candidate 1. If you didn't know, he won most outstanding member of student government most outstanding member of the Student Government Association award this year. Jolie Millhouse, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yes. This year I think that ties up candidate 1 very well. Everything that he does is done with excellence, integrity, and he works his tail off every single day. Earlier it was mentioned that being pro temp is the most laborious job in Senate. I think it's the most laborious job in the Student Government Association. He did that with integrity and excellence. And I know that he will do the job of constituency affairs chair very well. That's why I wrote him a letter of recommendation. And that's why I'm supporting candidate 1 through and through to be our next constituency affairs. I yield to Chair Horton.
Seeing that Chair Horton has been yielded to, you have 1 minute and 32 seconds beginning at how.
Chair Horton, R&R. Candidate 1 Candidate 1 is perhaps one of the most dedicated, hardworking individuals that I've known. Over this past year, I've had the unique privilege of getting to know him and speak with him, not just as candidate 1, the senator, but as candidate 1, the person. Candidate 1 loves a nice torchy topic. Candidate 1 has logged over 1,000 movies on the wonderful athletic box. As well, candidate 1 is a servant. Candidate 1 has served previously as Speaker pro tempore of the Senate, where he served excellently and diligently. And in my opinion, he's at least been the best one I've seen last year. And I really would implore you to vote and support candidate 1 in this election. And just remember that candidate 1 will be there. I yield to Senator Kim.
Seeing that Chair Kim has been yielded to, you will have 24 seconds beginning at.
Howdy. Chair Kim, Academic Affairs. Jumping on the points that were previously made, I've personally known and worked with Senator Patel, and I can say that he's authentic.
Say your point.
Senator Hughes on campus, do you could chair Jade State candidate 1?
That's true, you're out of order, and that concludes our first round of debate for candidate 1. We will now move into debate for candidate 2. So the first round of debate for candidate 2, do I see any debate? I see Chair Hurt. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
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 Chairman for Legislative Relations, the school complex. I think, candidate 2, caught myself there. Candidate 2 has been one of my best friends, since being in Senate. We were both elected senators. I'm going to just say that never miss a moment of talking to about a best friend. He's been passionate about serving students. He knows the issues. I think the biggest thing that I've been asked between the two candidates as I was trying to decide is who's going to include other organizations that aren't typically like Senate President's Council, International Student Association, Asian American President's Council. Those are APC. Those are organizations that I want to include in, particularly because of, again, we all heard me talk a little bit about everything, but some of the legislation that's going on that's affecting students. We want to prioritize policy that impacts students positively, but we can't prioritize policies if we know what you're thinking. That is the fundamental role of CM. So I think candidate 2 is best for the regard for this, and with that, I yield to Senator Maynard.
Seeing that Senator Maynard has been yielded to, you will have 1 minute and 25 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Howdy.
Senator Maynard Education. I just wanted to briefly talk about my experience with candidate 2. We have 2 great candidates out here. I can't deny these are some great senators. But just my personal experience with candidate 2. He actually is the one who found me while I was bannering for student council for my college, and he came and watched me banner for multiple days and talked to me when he saw that I had an interest in student government. He came up and said, well, if you're so interested in serving your college, would you like to serve them in student government? And then he came back, he met with me, had coffee. And so in constituency affairs specifically, I fully support candidate 2. And yield to Senator Hargrove.
Seeing that Senator Hargrove has been yielded to, you will have 46 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Howdy. Senator Hargrove, Education Caucus. I want to speak to the character of candidate 2. This candidate has not only served under me while working as Vice President of Academic Affairs, but also got the opportunity to serve under me when working as Speaker Pro Tempore of the Student Senate here in the 76th session. I have seen his development from a student senator all the way, a freshman senator, all the way up to the student senator he is now. He is dedicated and loyal to this body, and he's dedicated to working with students and reaching out to organizations. In my committee this past year, he has done an amazing and fantastic job working for our students and academics. I have no doubt that he will continue working for our students in this position next year. With that, I give my time to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate, beginning with debate for candidate 1. Do I see any debate for candidate 1? I see Senator Bradley. You will have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Thank you. Hi guys, my name is there we go. Love it. Candidate 1 is a great dude. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him over the past, well, maybe say a year now. I filled my spot in the fall, and he's kind of guided me through a lot of the process of learning Senate and knowing everything. He is the longest serving senator, like we know, because he's got his fancy old cane. And I think that leads on to his intelligence, his knowledge, and his wisdom just in student senate as a whole. He's got a lot of prowess. He's seen a lot of things. He's done a lot of things personally in his time as a senator and as a Speaker Pro Tempore. And I just think that he's a great candidate because of all the things that he wants to do, and he knows how to do it, and he wants to accomplish it. And with that, I yield to anybody. Okay, going once, going twice. I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate for candidate 2. I see Senator Wells. We'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Howdy. I have known candidate 2 since last year. I would not be standing here in this room if not candidate 2 because I would have dropped out of the race before I even got the election. Candidate 2 cares a lot about Senate. He approached me and many others about running for Senate because we want to do something for the student body. he cares more about the student body than I've seen in a lot of people. He puts in so much work as a senator and as even just a representation of student senators themselves, where I would know nothing to having a lot better opinion of student senate than I think I would have had even without it. Without candidate 2, I don't think we made any involvement like in this last election, or just in general, the mindset going in for me at least would have been completely different. I yield to. I can't read your name. Sanchez. Sorry, Senator Sanchez.
Seeing that Senator Sanchez has been yielded to, you have 1 minute and 35 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Howdy, Senator Sanchez. I wanted to talk about candidate 2 and more of his character. I was able to meet candidate 2 back in high school. I'm from the small town of Dawson, Texas, which is not too far from Hillsborough, but even tinier. I met him at a public speaking contest, and that's whenever I first realized just how genuinely kind and caring candidate 2 is. Candidate 2, I also gotten to know on a personal level because he happened to be the final roommate with my boyfriend. And with that being, he's helped me personally with a lot of things, whether it's up late helping me edit an essay or helping me to take my dog or catch him in the parking lot when he got loose. But candidate 2 genuinely cares and wants to work forward to improve the well-being and lives of everyone. He's definitely someone you can work with and level and will take and give information and anything that needs to get done. So I really just want to stand here and attest candidate 2's character and hard work. And with that, I yield to Senator Hargrove.
Seeing that Senator Hargrove has been yielded to, you will have 23 seconds beginning at.
Howdy. Senator Hargrove Education Caucus. I just want to once again reassure you that candidate 2 is the greatest choice for this position. He not only has served in the past 3 sessions, but he's done so excellently. He's held up every single duty of his office, and he has advocated strongly for the students who need it most. I believe that candidate 2 is your choice for this election today, and I ask that each and every single one of you please vote for candidate 2.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
State your motion.
I motion to extend debate by 1 round.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, I will now move into the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? It is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on the motion. All those in favor of extending debate by 2.5 minutes, please rise as you are able. All those opposed? By a vote of 13 to 22, this motion does. We will now move into a period of voting on the candidates. We will attempt to do this.
I move that the vote be conducted by ballot.
Okay, seeing that a senator has made a motion for a ballot vote, we will do this vote via ballot vote.
One person.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, if you talk about motion to vote by ballot.
Yes, we will be doing a vote via ballot. State your point.
Yes, the Senator about citizens
Education Caucus, never plus a ballot.
Seeing that a ballot vote has been.
Point of information
Take your point.
directed at Chair Williams, Chair Horton. If it is called out of order, if that motion is called out of order, can it be deliberated upon again?
So the person who made the motion cannot make the motion again, but somebody else can.
Thank you.
We'll do this via a ballot vote. Give Pro Tem Tucker a chance to pass out and do all of this. State your point.
Vote on doing ballot votes?
No.
Say
Point of order,
your point.
Chair Horton, the good senator does not state his name.
That's true.
For personal inquiry.
State your point.
Senator Wilhite, Osceola Caucus, we called a ballot vote. We had a ballot vote earlier and somebody objected to it and then.
That was a secret ballot vote.
Oh, okay, thank
A
you.
ballot vote can just be requested.
Point of parliamentary inquiry directed towards Speaker Justino, Senator Harper of Education Caucus, are we not in the third round of debate? Have that, is that?
That got shut down, okay.
Yeah, it failed.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I call for quorum.
Pro Tem Tucker. Quorum has been called, so we now need to do a period of counting before we can move on. Please rise if you are able.
Thank you.
People outside.
We're good.
I was like.
Madam Speaker, point of information, why not?
So
Senator Harper of College of Education. Can I put in active my caucus as it is too large official?
That's fine. We have quorum and we'll continue business as usual. Okay, we are still in the voting. We're doing ballot vote. Please wait while Pro Tem Tucker passes out your ballots.
You do not put your name in caucus and circle the correct candidate, like candidate 3, candidate 4, those are not actual candidates. Your vote will be made null and invalid, so. All of the rest of those. Yeah. Has everybody gotten a ballot? Oh.
Martha.
Yeah.
Did everyone receive a ballot?
Sorry. Now you're done. So, I do.
Because I thought that was a good way to go. Certification.
Anyone have a ballot?
Library.
It's fine. One day I'll make it all. We can literally go shake it past the other receptionist. Yeah.
They call it an 80%. You still come back to them. Good company.
By a vote of 28 to 18, candidate 1 is elected our new position.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear.
I, Eli Patel, do solemnly swear.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
The duties of the office of, state your office.
The duties of the office of Constituency Affairs Chair.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
To uphold the honor of the same.
To uphold the honor of the same.
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
And to promote good relations between the students.
And to promote good relations between the students.
And those concerned with the university.
And those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God.
We will now move into a period of executive cabinet confirmations.
Speaker, I have a motion.
State your motion.
Senator Hargrove, Nation Caucus, I move to suspend the standing rules to consider the development, representation, election, and legislative relations commissioners altogether in a 5-minute period of presentation, 5-minute question and answer.
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, is debatable and amendable, we will start with debate against. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate for the motion. Do I see any debate for the motion? Seeing none, we will now move to the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objection to the motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. We will consider all 4 at the same time. They will be introduced by our student body vice president, Catherine Parks. We are now open for a brief introduction.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Hi, Senate. I'm really excited to be back in front of you again. I just first want to thank you for your patience with all of our confirmations, including these tonight. I know it's late, so I'm trying to get quick. Part of me, I'm really excited about these four and hoping to close out the topic with them. They're all uniquely qualified, capable, and so passionate about the roles that they've been selected for. But I'd like for you to hear a lot more about their vision for the role than my vision for the role. So with that, continue to event. Thanks, guys.
Okay, with that, our nominees are now open for a 5-minute period of presentation. We will begin with what's first? Michaela Johnson. Okay. You all have 5 minutes beginning at howdy.
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 My name is Michaela Johnson, and I am here for you today to talk about why I believe I should become the next commissioner of the Legislative Relations Commission. In the previous year, I had the amazing opportunity to serve as a commissioner, and in that role, we were able to actually get pieces of legislation into the Texas legislature, which is a huge deal for student government as a whole. And looking forward to this next year, while the Texas legislature is not in session, we are looking forward to it being a growing year. We really want to lay the foundation for the 90th session, while also building collaboration with other schools around Texas and the United States as a whole through something called the Texas Student Government Coalition and then SEC and DC. These are both two great programs that we can tap into to reach all the students across the United States.
All right, so my name is Chloe Ramirez. I am going up for VP representation. I was formerly the Diversity Commissioner and the Representation Commissioner. I just want to say that I'm so honored to take this role again, and I would be honored to serve again in this role. As I said, I served this commission last year where we put on multiple events. We saw a new event that we put on. Great. A little bit about me. I work at a nonprofit. I am a sociology department teaching assistant. I used to intern at the municipal court here in College Station. I'm gonna be doing CPIP this summer, so wish me luck. And then yeah, I do a lot of volunteer work with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Big Event, Fast Interfaith Immigration Network, and yeah.
Howdy, my name is Jeff Wallace. I am going up for the position of VP of Development. I would also be honored to serve in this position. Although I have no former experience in a commissioner or development role, I did have the honor of serving as a counselor for the student organization FAST. I was the co-committee chair for the Traditions Council, or Traditions Committee. Ran a scholarship. We raised over $8,000 and have had plenty of experience reaching out to other organizations and raising funds, as well as interning in finance role at oil and gas company, and then upcoming summer at an investment bank.
Howdy y'all, my name is Shelby Byron, I'm a sophomore political science major going up for the position of election commissioner. This past year I had the honor to serve on the Aggie Muster Committee as the internal relations coordinator. I also got to serve on the election commission this past year, so I have a little bit of experience with that. I was the vice president of public relations, and I'm also a sorority. I'm in Kappa Delta, and then I've served various positions through that.
Perfect. With that, our presenters are now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Hargrove.
Senator Hargrove, Education Caucus, favorite core value?
I would say my favorite core value is loyalty. I think that being loyal to the students is one way that you can be a selfless servant. I think it's one way you can show honesty. I think loyalty is at the root of all of the core values, and that's something I really want to show this year through my leadership.
My favorite core value is probably respect. I've held it since my freshman year. I think in order to just be an Aggie, you have to respect every Aggie, no matter where they come from, their background, their beliefs. And I just think that's the best way we can serve other Aggies is to respect them first.
My favorite core value is integrity. It used to be excellence. And then I realized that it's very easy, or maybe not very easy, but a lot of people are able to achieve excellent things. But to do so with integrity is what really matters, and to not kind of force the process.
My favorite value is also respect. I think the foundation of every relationship is built on respect, and the foundation of all organizations are built on respect. And I think that that was something that everyone should exemplify, and I hope to exemplify in this role.
Thank you very much.
Do I see any more questions for the presenters? Seeing none, we thank them for their time. As they leave the room, the floor will now be open for a period of debate. We will begin with debate against, we're debating as a whole, all of them. We'll begin with debate against the 4 nominees. Do I see any debate against the nominees? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate for the nominees. Do I see any debate for the nominees? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate against the nominees. Do I see any debate against the nominees? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to do this via standing vote led by Pro Temp Tucker. All those in favor of the 4 candidates, please rise as you are able. All those opposed? By a vote of 39-0, these people are appointed.
Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear.
I, Taylor Harrington, solemnly swear
To faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
The duties of the office of state your office.
the duties of the office of representations
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
for the Texas A&M Student Government Association
To uphold the honor of the same.
to uphold the honor of the same
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
And to promote good relations between the students.
and to promote good relations between the students
And those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Senator Hargrove?
I have another motion, Madam Speaker, Senator Hargrove, I move to adjourn. He said.
With that, this oh. Okay, this motion is debatable and unamendable. Oh, it's and debatable and unamendable. We will start with debate against this motion. Do I see debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will move into the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round. Please refrain from packing up. We will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via voice vote. Do I see this one?
Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Hey.
The ayes have it. We'll now move into a period of closing roll call led by Pro Tem Tucker. Please refrain from packing up.
Please say howdy when I say your name. SUP Mallory, Chief Justice Rayfield, Speaker Casino.
Howdy.
Chair Horton.
Howdy.
Chair Wright. Chair Kim.
Howdy.
Chair Williams.
Howdy.
Chair Hurt.
Howdy.
Chair Chu. Chair Patel.
Howdy.
Chair Senator Pond. Senator Emilioria.
Howdy.
Senator Owen. Senator Allen. Howdy. Senator Jackson. Howdy. Senator Royal. Senator Attaway. Senator Daly. Senator Richards. Senator Schmidt. Howdy. Senator Williams. Austin Williams. Senator Yost.
Howdy.
Senator Collins. Senator Chesler.
Howdy.
Senator Revonko. Senator Lamons. Howdy. Senator Smith.
Senator Westlake, Senator Ben Williams, Senator Collinsworth, howdy. Senator Long,
Howdy.
Senator Alvarez, howdy. Senator Burnside, howdy. Senator Edgerton, Senator Hughes, howdy. Senator Coateson, Senator Willis,
Howdy.
Senator Wupperfeld, Von Wupperfeld,
Howdy.
Senator Asmat,
Here, howdy.
Senator Barber, Senator Becker, howdy. Senator Brown,
Howdy.
Senator Clark, Senator Fleener, howdy. Senator Flores, howdy. Senator Garcia, howdy. Senator Glazer, Senator Glover, howdy. Senator Hall, Senator Hicks, howdy. Senator Honey,
Howdy.
Senator Kaiser, Senator Monk, Senator Murray, howdy. Senator Sanders, Senator Hargrove,
Howdy.
Senator Maynard, howdy. Senator Roberts, Senator Nathan Williams, Senator Bissoni,
Howdy.
Senator Bradley,
Howdy.
Senator Joe, Senator Dow, Senator Medvedev,
Howdy.
Senator Shuck,
Howdy.
Senator Wells,
Howdy.
Senator Wu,
Here. Howdy.
Senator Bostic, Senator Poe, Senator Sanchez. Please refrain from packing up. Senator Sloan,
Howdy.
Senator Steele, Senator Sykes, Senator Teets, howdy. Senator Vanderheiden, Senator Wilhite, howdy. Senator Wilkins, howdy. All right, before we adjourn, I know these meetings have been long and I thank you for your patience. However, I would ask to not move to adjournment because now we have an IA team. So in the future, please let them deliver their committee reports. With that, this meeting is adjourned.
Hey, I can do it. I do. Is it closed already?
It is.
I always forget that.